What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for listening. On today's episode, I've got a surprise. And that surprise is I wrote a song for the podcast and Mike and Ryan have no idea. Yeah, that's right. I wrote a song for the podcast and Mike and Ryan have no clue. So I'm going to surprise them and we'll see how it turns out. Anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy these tunes. Peace. Hey, it's good to see you guys again.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Ryan. Happy Sunday.
Hi.
Sunday show day.
That's right.
Show day. I know y'all watch.
So, guys, I don't really work too much on the weekend. It's kind of a lie, but it's also kind of true. But sometimes my job requires me to actually do some work on the weekend. And what I have for y'all today is kind of wild. I'm hoping I don't lose my job. So let's just start with that. Right?
Definitely start with that.
Nothing better than firing up a Sunday.
If for my personal interest, you really got me interested when you said, I hope I don't lose my job because of this. I'm like, wait, what? What are we doing? What are we about to do here?
Exactly.
Now I'm listening.
So I know we didn't talk beforehand off air about kind of what I was going to show you, but I wanted to really just get your natural reaction when you see some of the stuff I'm dealing with at work, and then we can maybe have a discussion about it.
Oh, wow.
Does that work for y'all?
Well, hold on real quick, Chris. You got to give a 5-second reminder to maybe some of our guests who don't know you as well as others do. Just give them a quick title, your synopsis of your title and role.
Okay. Well, my title is podcast host who's probably about to get fired.
I was going to say, you don't have to say where you work.
All right, here we go. Let's roll with it. Let's hope this works.
So I'm nervous because I know where Chris works. I'm trying to fill this in a little bit because my man here, he's very diverse. And I don't know if he's messing with us or what, but
Mick D is all business. I know Mike got my back. Skrilla on the track. conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. Immaculate how I be rapping it. When I be spitting, you know that you loving it. Covered it, nothing above it, so you could go run with it. Now let's get back to it. Back to the basics. Carving out spaces. Practice patience for situations and all vibrations. I want all my eyes can see and I'ma beat you there. I aim for variety like a sneakerhead. I'm game ready, keeping that thing steady. Climbing over the dragon, now who wanna bang with me? Will you grow and change with me? Go through the same with me. For those that don't grow, they known to remain shifty. I'm working with all I got, so when you see me, you know what I'm about. conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. It's for the people like school teachers who think out the closet for causes that do reach us. And spark young engineers who interfere with what society's instilled in here. You keep me grounded, dog, and hold me down like my yogis that's hitting down with dog. Then it's back to business when I'm with my counterparts. No sitting down, so we walking around. Real talk, they talk about us, we the talk of the town. It's our chance, we contrast, but I ask that you pay attention while you listen to this podcast. I'm working with all I got, so when you see me, you know what I'm about. conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. Shout out to Waylon, Carter, Anna, Junior, Mick D, Mike, Skrilla, Mayhem Music.
So what do you think?
Man.
Holy dude, what? I don't know what to say. I'm like,
I know that was a lot to just throw
like
at
teared
y'all.
up.
and-
Is
dude,
what I'm
that
about
was
to
a
say. Like, I
dirty
never
move,
really-
Skrilla. I was not ready for that at all. Oh my god!
I kind of thought something had happened in your life that was negative, and so
No, it was just the opposite. It was
jobs.
positive.
And so
That's what happened.
Shit,
like,
dude.
what do I think is that I teared up about the middle of that. So maybe now that I've got myself together, I could give a little bit of an idea about what that is. So a long time ago, we started to work together, right? It's really been, it's almost been a year that we've been working together. Not too much further will be a year. And Chris, we asked him to put together an opener for the song. And I think both Mike and I realized about a month ago that we had never had such a piece of work created for ourselves. It's one thing, to buy a piece of artwork or to listen to a song, but man, even Carter and Whaler got shout outs there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm rarely at a loss for words. And even when I am at a loss for words, I just fill the space with words until I think of what I was gonna say. But like, dude, my wife is not in the room right now, so she's not gonna feel jealous of like how touched and like, dude, and not just touched emotionally, but how in the hell do you do that? How could you do that? How can you talk that fast? Like, dude, that I need to listen to that so many more times because my slow ass, I caught the obvious stuff, the hook, the hustling to an institute. Like, dude, Chris,
I think we can play it one more time.
What am I supposed to say? I mean, that was, dude.
So let me explain sort of like what took place.
Walk us through your process, man. How did you do that?
So, of course, the three of us talk like multiple times throughout the week. And I can't remember if it was Ryan or Mike that brought it up first. Like, hey, just putting that bug in your ear again about the song. And I got to thinking, and I had already actually started on one version of this introduction song, but then I just scrapped it. So yesterday, I just had this creative juice flowing. And I said, you know what? I'm going to write this song today. And I was driving around. And typically, I tend to write a lot of songs when I'm driving. Not actually while I'm driving, but I just pull over to the side of the road. So
really,
I was, I would pull over to the side of the road. But before I even started to write, I needed a track. And for the viewers, I have a production company with my partner, Dan Solovitz. It's called Mayhem Music. So we make a lot of songs for TV and film. And I remember there was something that we pitched to Men's Warehouse. They wanted this beat that kind of sounded like a Roots kind of vibe. And we hadn't used it. So I was like, yo, I'm going to use this for the conventionNOT track. And instead of, Dan was actually out of town, so he couldn't get me the track. So I had one of my other producer friends, Billy, recreate that actual track. So Dan was like, yo, I can get it to you at night. But I'm like, nah, I need it right now. So my other producer friend recreated Dan's work. All right, you with me?
I mean, that's no easy task in itself, right?
Not an easy task.
That's absurd.
But I got good people. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly.
So he recreates the track, and I'm just going on the drive. And I'm just playing it, and I'm just like kind of humming. I'm like, conventionNOT. And I don't have the lyrics yet, but I have, the melody. So I make voice memos, then I'll get the lyrics. I'll pull over to the side of the road, type some, sit there for a little bit. Once the juices kind of leave, start driving some more. Oh yeah, I want to say this. Boom, pull over to the side of the road. And that's basically what I did yesterday for about 2 hours.
Did you have a place you're going, or do you literally just like drive around the neighborhoods?
I was running some errands, so I had like destinations, but that I'm driving. So the song isn't even done yet. It's probably about 40% done at this point. And I called the studio and I'm like, hey, can I get in today? So the main guy that I go to, Jim Stewart, he's not working, but his like, I guess, apprentice, I don't know. I don't think that's like disrespectful. Nate is working, and I've worked with Nate before, and Nate's like, yeah, you can come on in. So I tell Nate, all right, I'll be there at 3:00. So now there's like pressure. I'm like, I got to finish this by then. And that just brings out the creativity.
You got your appointment to go lay music, but it's not done. Okay.
It's not done. But now that I have a time and I know, hey, I need to have this done by 2:30, 3:00, pressure was on. And then I just start flowing. So that's what happened. And then when I got to the studio, I'm just feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm in the zone, and I'm like, yo, I want y'all to not just like this song, but I want y'all to love this song. You know, I want to really take everything that conventionNOT stands for and try to put it into a song. And that's really
I need the lyrics. I need it all. Like,
Well, I just texted you the lyrics.
I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And that's this feeling that I rarely get, is being overwhelmed.
For the listeners, you'll be able to find this probably in about actually maybe now. You can find it on streaming platforms. If you search conventionNOT, just like the title of the podcast, and the artist will be Mayhem Music. So check it out.
All right, man. Like, I'll go back to the song in a second, but I just want to talk about you for a minute here. And I know you're not, going to like this, but what is wrong with you, man? Like, this is what this cat did on his Saturday. There was no deadline. There's no expectations. Like, we talk about hustle on the show a lot. And I think sometimes we don't do that word justice, right? A lot of people have different interpretations of what hustle means. When we use the word hustle, it's very complimentary. Like, to be clear, I never want anyone to think we're like minimizing what they're doing on their weekends by calling it a side hustle or this or that. But like, I cannot wrap my head around the idea of creating something like that in that time. If you told me you mowed 100 lawns yesterday, I'd be like, damn, what kind of lawnmower did you have? Right? Like, but all of that just came from you and your mind, and like collaborating with a couple other people that were clearly as gifted as you are. Like, dude, it's like you just showed me a magic trick. I'm not really that interested in it. Like, I want to figure it out, but I know I can't. So I'm just like in awe. And Chris, dude, that's the sweetest, like, most significant, like, most amazing thing. I've had paintings done of my dog before that I love, and I'm like, but I never had no song written about our silly asses. Like, dude, I don't know what to say, man. I really don't know. And you did such an amazing job. Like, oh my God. I'm shaking.
Hey, I appreciate it. I mean, I love that you guys not only had me on here as a guest, but that you really have like opened your arms to like include me as a new host, one of the new hosts of the podcast. So it's like, hey, man, I want to just show my gratitude and just say thanks, man. It's something building here,
I love it.
I better start trying a lot harder or doing something more impressive. I gotta carry my share, bro. Ryan, are you going crazy right now? Like,
yeah, I can't wait to listen to it again. I know I'll do another play of it for the listeners, but everybody knows that we're just recording this live in our basements and living rooms. And so I really can't wait to break it down. I saw that those lyrics came through on the email too. And I heard a couple stanzas there. I can't help, as the show's producer, I start to think about like, okay, now how would this get to play in? And so for a long time, we've been using, we actually had Marvelous Carter on the show some episodes ago, and we've been using a lot of his Infinite Audio music. But when I listen to these super produced shows, and when I look at, we don't talk much about the numbers, and we kind of have these different personalities, to be frank with our listeners, where one of us cares about the numbers a ton. One of us just wants to see what the numbers are. And then one of us is like more of a content person. And I'll let you figure out which one is which. I think that the personalities probably dictate themselves. However, what I really was thinking about as I was listening to that is like, oh man, I cannot wait to take stanza 1, 2, or 3 to make it this kind of like blend in. So for those of our listeners today who have subscribed to us, they may or may not have noticed that there's a new episode panel. It's always been Mike and I with kind of this little kitschy fist pound thing. But today, for this episode and from now forward, we're making some changes as we go along here. And you'll see that there's a new show cover that's out there that includes all 3 of us. I lovingly call it the it's a very cartoon oriented cover, right? I call it the King of the Hill cover. I know y'all don't watch King of the Hill maybe as much. I love Mike Judge shows and I watch King of the Hill kind of religiously. It holds up, by the way. Always something special about a cartoon that you watch 15, 20 years later and
for sure.
Up. But man, I had goosebumps and then I just had tears on my cheeks. I don't know about a better way to describe that when I was listening to it. So
yeah, that just warms my heart, like for real. I mean, I try to, writing songs for people, organizations, and whatever, like this kind of like what I do. And one of the things like I wanted to make sure that I did with this record was make sure that I like put all of us in here in some way, and not just us, but also people that are close to us, right? Yeah. So there's some lines in there, like I talk about yogis, right?
Yeah,
and that's kind of like
talking about educating and the teachers and
exactly business. I mean, any mention of business, we know who I'm talking about, right? I talk about engineers, school teachers, right? So it's just like little things you can sprinkle in like that really give it that personal touch.
No, I mean, it's even if you're not my wife, I think this is why she's still entertained by me, is like she listens to music, but she doesn't listen to the lyrics. I can tell her the same story. Like, really? Oh, yeah. I still got stories she's never heard before. And the truth is, I've told her the story like 4 or 5 times. She's just in it for the emotion, not the details. So what I'm getting at is whether you're neurotic.
God, I hope she doesn't listen to this episode.
No, she would hear that and be like, yeah, no, he's right. Like, why? Literally, she'll be like, if I'm focusing on the words, I don't enjoy the music as much. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Okay. Like for each their own. And what I'm getting at is whether you're neurotic, obsessive, compulsive, like I kind of dabble in, and you are honing in on the words and how they come together, or just someone who like is enjoying the sound. Like, dude, there's that would be impossible to not appreciate on the first listen, Skrilla. Like I can't say enough, man. And I can't wait to listen to it over and over again. And like, I have to touch on something here because Ryan mentioned the new artwork. And if you don't mind, I'd love to share that process, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And not too much.
This episode is about the new us, right?
Yeah, like, this is the new us. So what you just got is like, I don't know, when someone close to you who knows you very well shares something about you, like there's some intimacy there, right? And also some pressure. So like, I do want to say, Chris, how brave you are for curating something about us and then sharing it in that manner. Like, hey, I don't know if anyone out there knows it, but Ryan and I are not the easiest judges, and we're not super shy with our opinions about things. So, Chris, I love you, man, and thank you so much for doing that and sharing that with us in that way.
You doubt?
Mm-hmm. Well, I give that preamble because we've also in the artwork realm, and to be clear, I'm very, very happy with what's been created. But there's a huge difference in creating something with someone who does not know you at all. All right. And like, clearly, we're not trying to put anything out on the show that looks like, we got it at the corner store. So it takes a while to develop a relationship where you're trying to like introduce some nuances, especially when it comes to illustrating 3 human beings. So I'm gonna shout out. There's an app called Fiverr. It's Fiverr, I think is how you find it. I think the premise of this app, it's not Craigslist. It's a little bit more specific to like artists and kind of creative types. And they may do other stuff on there, but to be honest, you go on there and you say, hey, this is what I need done. You know, like I want a portrait of my wife painted, and someone will be like, I'll do it for $15. So it's a really cool, like open marketplace. But as you can imagine, that opens things up, across the whole world, across, you know, every demographic. And from my experience, there tends to be a lot of people in other places that are willing to do like really incredible artwork for very, very cheap. So I'm interested. You know, yeah, I'll do that. I'll sign up for that. Well, what you don't appreciate is that in entering that, there's no clarity on exactly what your native language is going to be. Exactly like how high your expectations are going to be. So you have to kind of work through all that. And, you know, you're working through all that digitally, you know, usually by text. That's actually this Fiverr app. It's incredibly, I'm just going to say controlling, in that it creates its own like social space where you text and you message within the app. And if you text something along the lines of, hey, email me, it will immediately flag you and say you're not allowed to communicate via email or any way outside of Fiverr. So It's very like, which to me is, I like that. To me, it's a layer of safety. But it's been about 3 weeks since I started this. And mind you, I'm on my third Fiverr artist, because the first two, I'm just going to say it didn't work out. Let's just say it's probably me, not them. It's probably me, not them. But the third artist,
it's an international service too, right, Mike? Which would probably
I mean, I thought I kind of
language barrier.
I kind of mentioned that, but I didn't want to say like, where I'm getting text.
Is it India? It's fair to talk about that.
There seems to be a concentration of graphic artists in India.
Okay.
I don't really know about the Philippines, but there's definitely a concentration in a very different time zone. Let's say that.
I work in both those markets.
Yeah, I mean, and you do this much more regularly than I do. And this is a perfect like snapshot of the show. Let's have the guy who never deals with this stuff, who knows nothing about artwork. Let's have Mike handle the artwork for the show. So
you volunteered, brother.
I did volunteer because that's me.
You did a great job.
I'm scared and I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll go first. I'll do this first. And I'm not trying to sound brave. I'm trying to sound like reckless. Let's just say that about at least 15 iterations later, we've got a little King of the Hill cover art that I don't know if I can. Well, I don't need to share it with you guys here. I got the final revision last night. And I'm excited about it. I think it turned out well. So not only am I going to like give my huge audible clapping to my buddy over in India, who just goes by Graphy Studio. So Graphy, we're going to get you some love. Don't worry, buddy. Who's just been a sweetheart to deal with. Anyone who sticks with Mike for this long is just a sweetheart. Is amazing. You two included. My wife gets the top medal, but this guy did a lot for not a ton of money. And I just can't say enough about the like, I've been kind of like, you know, bitchy about it, but when all is said and done, the amount of effort and work and like revisions this gentleman put into this work for the, you know, the money, I'd like to give him a bonus, to be honest, because it really is just and it like the idea of that open space, like the open market where you can just get someone to do something for you. That's a very different conversation. But it was a learning process for me. You know, I'm used to going into these things with a little bit more like, where's your website? Send me your CV. Like, what college did you, like, I'm used to people kind of putting me through that grinder. And unfortunately, sometimes I project that onto others. So it's good for me to like step away from that and to deal with some other like people that have very different backgrounds than me, like not just culturally, but professionally as well. So yeah, that was, you guys will see it, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. There were some iterations throughout that, like, maybe we'll share those at some point, but I don't want to disrespect the artist. What I'm pointing out here is that like, there's just nuances, right? And like those nuances aren't, Chris, you're laughing harder because I don't know. Do you want to use a different word to describe some of the like just some stuff where you didn't think you'd have to like clarify it?
Two of us are white, one of us is black, and some of the earlier versions it looked like two of us were black.
Skin tone.
It looked like Ryan
what'd you nickname the version of me?
Oh yeah, Jarian. So, we gotta share this one.
Culturally agnostic. The Joe Ryan could be any number.
Don't worry, that was my joke.
That was okay. I was gonna say Chris said it first.
I said it,
and I laughed my ass off. I'm sorry, but it was one of these situations where you're just like, I'm not really clear on why you went in that direction. I actually, and this is the type of stuff where my weird head works, where like, if I knew this artist, I would be like, so why'd you make Ryan black? You know, like just straight up, like, was it the picture we sent, or was this a little flair you were putting into it? But like, no, I was a little bit more direct. And the first time I was actually subtle. I was like, I think, do me a favor, go and double check those pictures I sent you. The skin tones need to be corrected a little bit, I think is how I said it. But then when that didn't do it, because I got another one back, and it was like, wait a minute. No, you're correcting in the wrong direction. Like, no, wait. I had to write him back and say like, sorry, brother, but one of us is black and two of us are white. And the tones of the figures right now, they're inconsistent with that. When I pointed that out, it came back corrected really, really quick. But it was just one of those things that I honestly, in my head, I'm like, I love this artist, man. He don't see any color like that, dude. Like he didn't even notice it. It's beautiful.
I think he did a phenomenal job. Even if he didn't get my melanin right the first time, 2 or 4 times.
No, Jarian, great job. Jarian will forever be in our hearts. And I have the visual to forever be in my phone too.
That's the homie.
That looks like me after far too many weeks on vacation in the island somewhere.
So look, I mean, we got the new artwork, we got the new song. I'm thinking to close the show out, we play the song one more time. What do y'all think about that?
I like it. Yeah. I think this is a nice, short, sweet episode. That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So
you know where to find us as Chris gets that queued up. It's at conventionNOT _podcast. I guess technically this is season 4. We got rid of the seasons. We're starting to number the episodes now. So you could kind of see there are many, many hours that you could listen to. But let's check this song just one more time. We'll close it out with that.
One more time.
I love it.
Mick D is all business. I know Mike got my back. Skrilla on the track. ConventionNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventionNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventionNOT. Immaculate how I be rapping it. When I be spitting, you know that you loving it. Covered it, nothing above it, so you could go run with it. Now let's get back to it. Back to the basics. Carving out spaces. Practice patience for situations and all vibrations. I want all my eyes can see and I'ma beat you there. I aim for variety like a sneakerhead. I'm game ready, keeping that thing steady. climbing over the dragon. Now who wanna bang with me? Will you grow and change with me? Go through the same with me. For those that don't grow, they known to remain shifty. I'm working with all I got, so when you see me, you know what I'm about. conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. I do this for the people like school teachers who think out the closet for causes that do reach us, and spark young engineers who interfere with what society's instilled in here. You keep me grounded, dog, and hold me down like my yogis that's hitting down with dog. Then it's back to business when I'm with my counterparts. No sitting down, so we walking around. Real talk, they talk about us, we the talk of the town. It's our chance, we contrast, but I ask that you pay attention while you listen to this podcast. I'm working with all I got, so when you see me, you know what I'm about. conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. What that means is unconventional. Been in the game of you, so comprehend what I'ma give to you. Cause in the instant you can turn your hustle to an institute. I can't stop, I'm on top because I'm conventoNOT. Shout out to Wayne.